quick recap of the previous sessions. So all of us know that Buddha has started teaching in that particular story. He has started teaching the Eightfold Path, right? And his four noble truths, right? So here Buddha has started teaching, and Yashodhara is literally practicing everything, right? All these eightfold path. She's actually practicing the entire thing here, right? Whereas he is taking the theoretical approach, and now the Yashodhara is more on her practical approach, right? So in last session, what we had seen is Yashodhara and Pajapati wants to invite Buddha to their palace, right? But king is not agreeing with that. He's still upset. He is still angry with Siddhartha, what he has done to the entire palace or the community there, right? He is not ready to accept him. He's not ready to invite. King has to invite the monk to the palace according to the ritual, but he's not doing that. So they are convincing him, but he's not ready, right? So there was a fight between Pajapati and Shuddhodana there in the palace, right? And a small cold war between Yashodhara and Pajapati too, right? So Yashodhara asked Pajapati, you have to initiate the talk. Later, she will take everything on her own, this thing. That is her responsibility afterwards. But she asked her to initiate the everything, that process of bringing him to the palace, right? So here, when the king was not ready, he wanted to send Rahula, his grandson, away from this palace, right? Before Siddhartha enters the palace, right? For that, this Yashodhara and the entire women in the circle, they stopped having food, and they started practicing silence. Right? Then a king asks her, what shall I do now? Why you people are doing like this? Right? So that time she asked him to come and join his circle. The importance of circle and everything, she'll explain it to Shuddhodana. Right? So far we have seen the story. Next, we'll continue with the further part of that. Right? So the first day after the king threatened to send Rahula away, passed. Right? So here, the boy was still there in that palace. He has not taken that step because of Yashodhara. He did not send Rahula to the Gurukula or whatever. Right? So here, that boy is there still in the palace. By seeing that, all the women in the palace started taking water and juices. Everybody were happy by seeing Rahula in the palace, because earlier the king had issued the edict, right? Tomorrow he'll be sending Rahula, right? He wanted to become his warrior or successor. So here, the second day, what happens? King will go to Rahula and he'll ask him. He asked if he wanted to become a warrior or stay to meet his father there in the palace. He's asking that 7-year-old kid. Now, Shuddhodana has realized everything, right? So here, after a week, he will ask that kid, and that Rahula will reply, Grandpa, I will do my duty to you. Even that kid is following his mother there, right? And next, what happens? After a week, the king asked Yashodhara to meet with him alone in the circle there. He's ready to meet her. He's ready to sit there in that circle. Right? So now, when he was sitting with Yashodhara there, in that circle grow, king observes the transformation that had happened in Yashodhara. Now he is observing her in that circle. Circle means only Yashodhara and Shuddhodana are there. Right? So he felt a depth of shared communion there. He's feeling it, the importance of the sacred circle there. Now he is realizing it, what these two ladies have done there in that circle. Right? So now he will say this thing to Yashodhara, I will not impose my will on my grandson. He must find his own way. I release him from his duty. So it is who the Rahula has to take care of his this thing future what is that? He has to take a call along with Yashodhara. He's not imposing anything here. Earlier he was not ready. He was very, very reluctant. Right? And then he says, but I can never forgive my son. He's still very, very angry, frustrated. All those feelings are there with Siddhartha.
Deepali madam, can you make it the full screen?
So it's full screen only. Let me share it again.
No, you may just put the slideshow on the top. Yeah. Actually, if you click the slideshow.
Yeah, that I had made. One second. So now it's clear?
No, actually something is, I don't know.
Oh, I didn't know. For me, it is correct. That slideshow, it is on the slideshow mode.
Okay, yeah.
I'll pause and. Now, sir?
Yeah, now it's better.
Oh. Shall I rejoin again or it's okay?
No, it's okay. Yeah, just move forward.
Okay. Yeah, thank you. So here, Yashodhara informs this news to everyone there in the circle about the king's decision of not sending him to the Gurukula. Right? Here, the one more thing, what we have to notice is that Cold War is there between Yashodhara and Pajapati. They were not talking to each other. Right? So the harmony was not there in the palace, right? We have seen all those things in the last previous session. Right? Here, what she does is, again, this idea clicks to her mind. Yashodhara suggested that they create a ritual of restoration, of facing the conflict and suffering in a new way. She asked everyone to sit in the circle, including Pajapati, to do the meditation and hold the intention to heal. Okay? So she has discovered all these things on her own. This visualization technique, so holding the intention of all these things. Right? So they will sit there in the circle and they'll start practicing meditation there. But nobody knows how to heal the break in the circle. Right? So what she does this plan and she asked everybody to hold the intention of to heal. Right? They'll start meditation for a few minutes or hours there. Afterwards, what happens? She offered to have two women, the elders, to sit close to them. Right? To sit close to Pajapati and Yashodhara. What they did, Pajapati and Yashodhara felt heard and understood. They shared everything. to those women in the circle, especially to those two elders in that circle who were sitting close to them, right? They are sharing everything with those two ladies there. And by doing this, the necessity of healing in the circle happened, and they got the suggestions from their other two women also there. It is like when I was studying architecture, that time we used to have this perspective drawings, 1-point perspective and multi-point perspective drawings. We used to draw those things. It was very difficult. 1 point was very easy, but multi-point was very, very difficult because so many points will be merging, right? So that time we used to do all these things manually, no software, nothing. Here, the same way, she's taking the multi-point perspective. That is very, very important. They know only those two ladies are not deciding anything here, right? So she's asking everyone, they're sharing their man ki baat there in that circle, right? So by doing this, what happened? They spoke to each other, right? And they understood and the perspective of this rupture between them when they were talking to these two ladies there, or the entire circle there. Everybody gave their suggestions there, right? Being the queen and the princess, they're asking for other suggestions there. That means she's practicing equality there, right? In that circle. Whatever Buddha is teaching, she is practicing here, right? So here, by doing this, they spoke to each other, offering understanding and apology and forgiveness, not only to each other, but of themselves also, right? So they practice this art of forgiveness also. By doing this, they broken the broken threads of the circle were carefully and wisely rewoven, giving birth to a surprising new pattern, right? So she did this very, very beautifully. She does this work there, patchwork, repair work, right? With the help of that circle there, right? So here, what she understood was, when Buddha was talking about this noble truth, right? So the third noble truth, suffering stops when desire or wanting stops. So this particular truth she has understood with this circle practice here, especially in this incident, right? She has understood the importance of that third noble truth. When the suffering stops, when the wanting or desire stops, the suffering will automatically stop, right? So now everybody is happy there in the circle, right? The whole circle felt rich and joyful again. Otherwise, in the beginning, that harmony was not there, right? It was all broken. But now she did this work of repair, right? Restoration beautifully. And now the circle is rich and joyful. Fracture of the community mended, right? The whole palace community felt the power of peace, of reconciliation, right? So now everybody is happy, and she has understood this, the meaning of this third noble truth there, right? The deep peace and cessation of suffering of the third noble truth, right? Here, one day, that marvelous news came from Chennai, right? The Buddha and his multitude Sangha were coming close, coming to them, to the palace, towards the palace, right? And could arrive within a few weeks, right? So what she feels is, when our peacemaking was completed, he would come. When the student is ready, master will appear, right? So everybody is ready, including Shuddhodana, to receive Siddhartha here, or the awakened one, the Buddha, right? So now they are all ready, the Buddha, they'll find this news. He is very, very close to the palace, and in a few weeks, he will visit this palace. Right? So let me stop this session, this portion of the story here only. Tomorrow, I'll be continuing with the session of this story. Here, the author has beautifully given few points about the parenting in the reflection part, the second part of the book. So I would like to talk about those points here, right? Here, he talk about few cones in the sense problems or riddles, what these parents are facing nowadays, right? So what the first cone says, cone means problem or riddle. First cone is, what he says, the author, we want to shield our child from all suffering. We want to shield our child from all suffering. We protect them and prevent them from the suffering. Right? So parents should learn to be with suffering of the child. What we are doing, we are insulating them from the suffering. Even when watching news channels also, immediately we will shift the channels, right? So that the child should not watch such cruelty or whatever is they are showing in that TV, in that particular news. Or in case of death in the family or anything, we will be insulating them. We want to keep them away from that, whatever is happening. Right? So here, that is the mistake we are doing it, he is saying. So he is telling. What Shuddhodana here he has done is, he kept his son in a bubble of comfort and pleasure to prevent him from feeling and witnessing suffering. Right? What Shuddhodana has done, the same thing, not only Shuddhodana, even we are doing the same thing. Right? Immediately, when we see the war news or there's something on the news channel, we will shift immediately we'll take the remote and we will shift. We don't want to show all those suffering scenes to our children. If they ask also, we will not tell anything there. We'll try to skip some part of it. Right? So from the beginning only, we are doing it. So here, the Shuddhodana was like a helicopter parent, right? He was who hover and protect, overprotective he was. So what was the outcome? It was contrary to whatever he has desired, right? So, and one more thing that author says beautifully, cultural ideology of splitting of birth and early childhood as joyful days, right? And old age and death as sorrowful. These days are golden days. Your childhood days are golden days. Enjoy those things. We'll be telling them, right? So what they think, okay, these days are joyful, and the old age and this death as sorrowful. They will not be able to take equally both the sorrow and joy, because we only are imbibing this culture, right? So here, joy and sorrow always arise together in the natural order. They should know this. Both joy and sorrow. The cultural ideology of splitting, we have to change this, right? So being with suffering in the child is one of the most challenging aspects of parenting. We have to sit and listen to them, right? We have to give them the quality time. We have to ask this question to ourselves. How many of us are doing this? We tend to put everything on this generation, right? This generation is like this. They are not listening to us, this, that, everything. We will compare that child's behavior or nature with our generation. Even we are doing this mistake. Why are we comparing with our generation? This is their generation, right? So what is happening with them? What are they going through? Just sit and ask them and listen to them, right? So here that commitment to stay with them we need, right? So we have to become tiger mothers or tiger parents or good parents here. By giving them the quality of time is what they are expecting, right? So here, and the growth of the child fuels the growth of the parents and vice versa. The growth of the child fuels the growth of the parents and vice versa. When the child is growing, right? So in turn, the parents will be growing with them, right? So both physically, mentally, everything, right? So here, what we do, we will think of, we'll be busy with our own things. So we are not ready to give them the quality of time or that commitment to stay with them, right? So here, the third cone of parenting, he says, is devotion of both staying and holding. This is most important. Look at this. Devotion of both staying and holding the relationship, as well as releasing and letting go. Releasing and letting go. Both staying and holding and releasing and letting go. So we have to be flexible on this path of parenting. Sometimes we have to hold the situation or hold them together. Sometimes we have to release them, let it go, right? So here, this is the spiritual path of she who stays, right? So and the third cone is, third cone of parenting is, to become a parent is to have your heart walking around outside your body. To become a parent is to have your heart walking around outside your body, right? So everybody, all of us have to think about these three cones of parenting here. What mistakes we are doing it, right? Simply, it's not to sit and blame the younger generation. What are we doing? What is going in our mind, right? We have to introspect ourselves, right? So here, the parents have the huge responsibility, right? So here, that parent and child relationship has to be very honest, and it has to be transparent, and that acceptancy has to be there, right? It has to be honest, transparent, and acceptancy. So this is the beautiful relationship between parent and child there. It's a huge responsibility, right? So what is the solution for this, these three cones here mentioned, right? So this the spiritual parenting helps us, right? But what is spiritual parenting, right? So spiritual parenting is nothing but parenting with consciousness, parenting with awareness, right? So that is the difference between normal parenting and spiritual parenting. Whatever we are doing it with awareness. Every speech, every thought, everything. Our relation has to be with that consciousness, right? So here, what are we doing? We are comparing our kids, right? We are criticizing our kids. We are asking them to compete with others. This is what we are feeding them. The three things, C cube, I'll call. Compare, criticize, and asking them to compete with others. Right? So here, that means you have to compare your child, but in reference with his individual talent only. That child is unique. It has got his individual special qualities. Right? So you have to compare. Comparison is not bad, but compare it with in reference to that individual talent of that child only, in reference with him or her only, not with others, not in reference with other child. Right? Last time you had scored this much. Now just compare your marks, right, with yourself only. Now this time try to beat that score, whatever you have scored in the earlier internals or whatever, or 7th standard. Now he's in 8th standard, means compare his 7th standard marks with in reference to that individual child's talent only, not with others. Right? And we tend to criticize our children. What we do, we will try to label them. Right? So you're like this, you're like this, you're very lazy, you are very shy, you don't do this work properly, you don't, all these things. We will label them in a negative way. Right? If you keep on telling these things in a negative labeling way, what happens? That thing will become their identification. That becomes their identity. Okay, they'll accept it. I'm like this. Right? So instead of negative sentences, negative labeling, what we have to do, we have to use positive labels. You are very perfect, you are very good at this, just try to improve these things in a positive way. Labeling has to be done in a positive way. That is where this importance of this Vak Kshetra. Right? It is very, very carefully we have to use our sentences there when we are labeling them. Right? So this sister Shivani of Brahma Kumaris, she says beautifully, जो देखना चाहते हैं आपके बच्चों में, जो देखना चाहते हैं वो बोलना चाहिए, जो आप देख रहे हो वो नहीं. What they are, no. Right? जो आप उनमें देखना चाहते हैं, that you have to focus. Right? Again, she says beautifully, बच्चों की पेरेंटिंग से पहले पेरेंट अपने संस्कार को पेरेंटिंग करना चाहिए. संस्कार को, अपने संस्कार को. Before you parent your child, right, you have to very, very carefully अपने संस्कार का पेरेंटिंग करना चाहिए. Every thought of yours, every speech, every action of yours, we have to think. Right? So here the soul, child will bring his own soul design. Right? We all know this. His soul plan will be different. Right? Here we are asking him to compete with others. Right? When he has brought his own soul plan, his own design, right? That means every child will have their own plans, their own design. According to that only, it will be working. right? Here, if that is so, with whom he has to compete? Why that race? Right? He has got his own individual plans there. When you start, when you ask him to compete with others, what happens? That child will start developing the qualities of jealousy, inferiority, superiority, or ego. When indirectly we are helping that child to develop all these qualities, right? So instead, what we have to do, we have to apply love and law, balance, right? So discipline with love. As a parent, we have to do our duty. We have to guide them. We can't leave them like that. But discipline with love. That is the most important thing here. With love, whatever you do, with love, it has to be. Right? And that so leads happiness and contentment. Right? So here, always you should give them the emotional strength and try to use the positive affirmations. It is difficult in the beginning to practice all these things, right? In a sudden situation, we will start acting like anything there. But we have to practice this, anything with love. Whatever you want to say, just tell them, but with love. It makes a lot of difference. Right? So affirmations should be, because sankalp se siddhi, they turn into reality. They'll manifest, right? So here you are not, you are an honest soul. You are perfect soul. You are perfect. Whatever you are doing, it's very perfect, right? You are punctual. You just keep on telling these affirmations, positive affirmations to them. Definitely their mind will change. What we are doing, we are labeling them negative way, in a negative way. So that is the mistake I think we are all doing, most of us, right? Not everyone. So here, diet, children need diet, right? Diet means not only physical body diet, not only vitamins and minerals or proteins or whatever. Here, vibrations also acts like a diet only. I mean, some important vitamin kind of, right? So children are our biggest responsibility, and we need to handle this relationship with very, very careful way, right? We have to think before using our words, right? So, and there will be a peer pressure, right? So what they do, they will they'll listen to their friends, especially these teenagers. Why? Because friends will accept them as they are, right? Accept their acts, whereas parents will not do that thing, right? So here, parents will reject the child's act, right? So parental acceptance and family acceptance is very, very important, right? So what we do sometimes, what he did was wrong, right? We will tell him that he is wrong, you are wrong. Instead, what we have to do, you are very good, I accept you as you are, but what you have done is not right. I accept you as you are, but what you have done, that act, is not right. Right? This way, we need to convince our children, and not only verbally, as we are all meditators here, when we are meditating, we have to sit in a silent place and start meditation, and send them the messages through the vibrations. We know this technique, right? Not only verbally, every time verbal, this thing will not help, right? Because whatever you tell, they may not agree. They may rebel back, right? So what you have to do, you have to send the messages, whatever you want to send the message, tell them through the vibrations. The power of doing right karma from the power of the mind, right? So, and success is certain for you, my dear child. All these positive things through vibrations, we need to send them. This technique only meditators can do. Spiritual parents can do this, right? So we will be by doing this, even parents will get relieved. This practice, what Yashodhara has done there in the circle, self-talk, right? So here, parents have to remember one thing. You cannot make your child's life perfect, right? Because he has brought his own question paper there. That question paper is different. What we are doing, we are asking him to copy from the other child's answer paper. That will be different only, right? When the question paper itself is different, how the answers will match, right? We are comparing, we are criticizing, we are asking him to compete, right? So we should know all these things. We cannot make our child's life perfect. It is his destiny, which he has already carried with him. We cannot change anything there. We can't do that. First, we have to accept this. But what we can do, then what, as a parent, what is our duty? Right? So you can teach him how to walk perfectly in the journey of life. We can teach him, we can guide him. We cannot change them, change the path, whatever path he has chosen. Right? Even here, Shuddhasana was a helicopter parent, right? But look at this Pajapati's approach. What she has done, she did not make an effort to go to his son, Siddhartha, and bring him back to the palace by convincing or whatever. What she did, she has accepted the path he has chosen for himself. She didn't go and convince him there. That is the beautiful part of, beautifully that character has been designed here. The authors have given us a very, very important part. When our children are doing this, I want to join this course instead of this course. Will he be able to agree with that? No, we'll try to convince him. Right? We will not respect his ideas or whatever, his decision. What we will do? He doesn't know anything. They are very, very small kids. In this path, he'll not have a better future or whatever. According to Saul plan, sometimes he'll be thinking. Right? So here, Pajapati did a wonderful job. She is teaching us indirectly. Right? She did not go after him, but what she did, whatever he has chosen and he has gone. What is left with her in that palace? That family members, that community. She's started working on them, working towards that path, staying with path. Her duty was different. As a mother, she didn't go to Siddhartha. This is a very, very important point, I feel. Pajapati has done a wonderful job here. As a mother, as a mother-in-law. She did not interfere in Siddhartha's decision there. She could have gone, right? Being a queen, she didn't do that. She stayed back in the palace and she took care of the entire community there, along with Yashodhara and Rahula. She was there for them. What was there in her hands, she was ready to take care of that thing. Right? So, what we have to do? We have to guide them, right? In this journey of life. That road is there. The road is the way it is. Right? We can't go and change the road there. What we have to do? How a child should walk on that road. Right? We have to teach them how to go around stones or turns, way to bend and way to rise. Right? So all these things, and way to make a jump. We are here just to do these things. Way to take a turn, way to make a jump, way to bend, right? How we have to do? With our blessings, with our thoughts, with our advice, right? We can teach that child the method of walking on that path, whatever path he has chosen. Right? So this way we need to support them or guide them to walk the path on that particular journey of life. Right? So here parents usually say, I don't have time to do all these things, meditation and other stuff, because I have to take care of my family, I have to take care of my children. Right? So to take care of that children and that family only, we need meditation. Why we have to meditate? To take care of that only, right? So like Yashodhara, we have to follow the middle path here. We have to take care of the family. We have to take care of that community, right? Whatever she has done there. Right? So she was there with her son when he was suffering. Right? So meditation, when you accept this meditation, when you start practicing this meditation, then your home becomes heaven. Your children will become angels. Right? So rather than giving our children more than what we had, we have to make them more than what we were. Right? So rather than giving our children more than what we had, we have to make them more than we were. Than we were means more stronger, more emotionally stronger. Right? So these are the things about this spiritual parenting. And I love this movie Tare Zameen Par, where he has shown, the director has shown, every child is special, unique. Right? What we have to do, we have to just support that child. That child needs only the support from the parents or the guidance. Right? So, and the important thing, one more thing is, greatest spiritual quality is playfulness. Right? We have to spend the quality time with our children there. This is the most important point. This is what Yashodhara has done there in that play. Indirectly, she has introduced all the characters, including that father there. This is the nice way of convincing your kid. Right? So here, making them emotionally stronger is what we have to give. Apart from whatever that property we will be thinking, other stuff, other strength, this emotional strength, making them stronger than we were. That is the most important thing we can give it to our children. Right? So the one more thing is, this author says is, usually the children are naturally awake or joyful and curious and creative, right? Here, what we are, when we are there with them, when we give them this spiritual connection, what happens? It helps both the parent and child here. Spiritual awakening can happen to both of them, right? So what we can do, we are walking in the nature, playing them these imaginary plays, right? And simple ordinary tasks of life can be transformed with mindfulness. Are we doing it? Are we are not? What we are observing is many of the parents do not have the time to play with their children. At the same time, what these homemakers are thinking, we are wasting our time. We are not working for, though we are working for a home, but financially we are not supporting. The homemaker is thinking like that, whereas the working woman, working mother is thinking about giving the quality of time to her child. Right? Just we have to contemplate on this, both homemakers and the working women there. What we have and what we have to do with the circumstances, what we are going through, right? So here, the shame in mind, doubt and worry, with all these things, what we will be suffering, right? So when we take the help of the circle, the circle community of other parents, we easily can come out of this suffering, right? So here, the author has mentioned these beautiful books, Child's Mind and The Mindful Child, right? By Christopher Willard's Childful Mind and Susan Kaiser, Greenland, this Mindful Child. These two books he has suggested there. And what he says is, we as a parents, we are so much involved in this materialistic world, we'll be thinking about their future, right? Always, you do this, this is good for your future, you do that, you do this, you join this course, right? Not only the major course there, we'll ask them to go for so many other things also along with that, so that that particular course will help them in their career along with that degree, right? So much pressure is there on them. But here, when we only concentrate on their future, what we are doing, we are losing this simplicity or the pleasure, whatever we get from this present moment with our child. We are not here. Always will be thinking about their future only, right? So we will miss all these things. We are so swept up in the rush of feelings, trapped in fear or desire, right? So held back from the creative practice of meeting the perils of suffering and even the joy. So here he makes this important point here: never underestimate the joy and never underestimate the suffering of this path of parenting. Joy, we know this, right? Suffering, what do you mean by suffering here? Never underestimate the suffering of this path of parenting. Even at the darkest time, the gift of desperation can ripen into spiritual moment, even an awakening. Enjoy, never underestimate the sorrow also, suffering also. We don't know at what time, at what moment in our life, it can turn into the awakening moment, spiritual moment. We don't know that. Many parents will be suffering with their kids with so many issues nowadays, whether it is addiction, whether it is their education or their character building or whatever it is. right? Do not underestimate that thing, he's telling. So this is the essence of relational practice that can lead to awakening and transformation. You become more of who you are by fully meeting the new arising in other. So this is the essence of relational practice. This is the heart of relational practice of parenting. And this is the creative energy of new beginning. Just be there with them, guide them. Do not underestimate the joy and the suffering there. Beautifully he has mentioned, right? And somewhere I have read this, we know these celebrities, right? Celebrities and fan following, we know that relationship. So for every child, every parent, that child is like a celebrity, right? We have to treat him like a celebrity. We have to say them that you are my celebrity, right? So what happens, their role models will be the cricket players or these film stars. Suppose if we say, take the example of this Virat Kohli, he has scored so many runs or whatever, we want him to score more, achieve more things in his career, right? Will he get upset with that? No, he'll feel very happy, right? What he says, next time I will try to break that record, next time I will do whatever, right? Is it like a pressure for him, right? Amitabh Bachchan has not done that particular role so far. We want him to play that role also. We want him to achieve the success there. The same way parents also are doing that thing. Parents are the first fan following of their children, right? So we have to make them clear this point. You're like my celebrity. Then it will not become an expectation. Like Virat Kohli, I want you to score more or achieve this thing. You are my celebrity. I'm the first follow. Parents are the first fan following there of their children, right? When you start inculcating such things in your life, the things will become very, very easy. Instead of fighting with them, try to convince him in a nice way, better way, with love. Right? So here he has asked us, he has given this individual meditation techniques, this observing, being with the arising of the new, that particular technique he has given. We have to observe all the energies of the beginning, the light, the form, the shadows, the colors, the moments of the sun rays arising, and at the same time they are fading, sunset, sunrise, right? So this impermanence of life, sunset and sunrise, right? And one more practice is this in third day of my session, I had taken this in my meditation. You have to express your wishes towards your children. A lotus to you, a Buddha to be. May you live with joy. May your suffering be the fertile ground of awakening. Don't get scared of their suffering. Look at the sentence, suffering be the fertile ground of awakening. May be grateful for this day, for each other, and for all the blessings of this life. These kinds of affirmations will help. And in a group meditation, this again, on the second day, I have taken this meditation, technique, pause, relax, open, and smile. We have to pause the mind, right? And then relax, breathing, right? Then open to the resistance, whatever resistance you have towards your children, right? I'm talking especially in that relationship, parents and children, right? And smile. This technique, we have to practice this meditation especially, and this extended family sangha. We have to connect with each other's family, right? Whether it's friends or relatives, we have to stay connected, right? So that is the devotional practice we have to nurture the growth, right? And invite other family to partner with yours in specific ways, right? During your birthdays or anniversaries or whatever, right? So be there for each other in emergencies and make agreements to call each other anytime, day or night. That circle practice has to be very, very important, right? So here, share a meal or an activity as families regularly, perhaps once a month. And in that circle, you have to involve your children, not only the elders there, the children has to be involved, right, at an appropriate level of the participation, that they have to be there in that circle, right? In India, it may not be a problem to do all these things, because every now and then one or the other function will be there, or other festival will be there here, right? We are indirectly, we are doing all these things, going to others family function, attending that family, and we will learn so many things. Not only learn, give and take relationship it is, and teach. Indirectly we will be teaching, right? All these things will be happening without our knowledge, right? Whereas for people like you, you are staying away from that family, right? So what we have to do, we have to make our own community there, friend circle, right? That family support, other family, other friends family support, we have to take, you have to take there, right? So when the even in India, joint family is not there, right? All have become nuclear families here. So here, even in here also, we have to take help of others, other family members or the sangha there. We have to have this circle, right? So there, this helps. And I would like to play this, 1 second. I would like to play this video. Can you all see this?
No, you
screen?
need to share that screen, Deepa ma'am.
You know what makes me really sad?
Yeah, that might be in a different screen. So that either you need to share your desktop or your system,
Yes.
or you need to share that other screen.
Yes.
Yep.
Now?
No, the same screen. Yeah.
Yes.
Indian business owners are stuck even in a booming economy where many more There was an eagle who lived high up on the mountain top, nested with the little eaglets, her babies she held so dear. They were one happy family, enjoying the sunshine and the cool breeze from the morning snow. That particular rainy afternoon, the mother eagle was unusually off, silent and quiet as a very heart quivered out of fear. Mama, Mama, what happened? Why do you look so scared? I got to do it. Do what, Mama? The mother eagle trembled. With an inner turmoil that surpassed every possible test she had faced till then. How can I do this? I love my kids so much. How can I push them outside? What, Mama? You're going to push us? But Mom, what's the need? Are we not a happy family? Don't you love us? The eagle sighed emotionally as she finally made her mind. Pushed the eagle out of the nest. One eaglet fell off the nest. Mama, what if you die? What if you don't survive? This isn't fair. It traveled with great speed, nearing the ground. It hit a boulder. It then hurt herself on a rough patch. Seeing the little child hurt, the mother eagle missed a heartbeat. But she knew this was her prime purpose, to push her beloved out. The little eaglet flapped one wing. It struggled and flapped another. Before it hit the ground, it used all the strength to fly. Yes, what it did. Slowly but steadily, it was higher above boulders, above the mountains, above the nest, and finally flying high up the blue, dazzling sky. Mother eagle looked mute. If the eaglet wasn't pushed out of the nest, the eaglet would have not experienced uncertainty. The eaglet would never become an eagle. Eagles need a push.
How do you make 1 crore while you are traveling? See, I'm right now in Estonia. We're going to Dubai, then US, then Canada.
So here in eagle's mind, there was a question, mother eagle, why does the thrill of soaring have to begin with the fear of falling? That question was there in her mind. But that eagle is taking a bold step here, right? It is teaching us the importance of that detached attachment, right? So until her children discovered their wings, there was no purpose for their lives. She knew this. Until they learned how to soar, they would fail to understand the privilege it was to have been born an eagle, right? So the push was the greatest gift she had to offer. It was her supreme act of love, right? So the push, sometimes we need it, right? And sometimes we need to give it. It can be the greatest gift you ever give. It will change a life forever, right? So here, the greatest push is given by Buddha to all of us in the form of meditation, right? So the art of meditation, right? So as a spiritual parent, we need to give this gift to our children also. That is the supreme act of love, right? Through meditation. That is the greatest gift we have to offer to our children, right? Yeah, along with this, I'll conclude my session here. and I'll open this platform for discussion. Thank you everyone. Anybody would like to share your feelings or any experience regarding this parenting, or you have any questions, we can discuss. Yes, Upendra.
Thank you very much. It was a wonderful presentation, Deepa ma'am. And so beautiful song. He started with a beautiful song about Bandhan. I just wanted to, also some of the lessons about raising children. I have grandchildren, but I have raised two children. And one of I was reading about the South American parents, their style of raising children, and the North American parents' style of raising children is so different. And the North American parents tell them, hey, you do this or else, type of thing. And South American parents, what I learned from the study is that they give them choices. Okay. And if the child refuses to go, let's say mom says, come on, let's go. I'm going for shopping. Come with me. They say they don't want to come. So they just leave them. Of course, they're of the right age. And they go. And the child learns that he or she missed going with the mom for shopping, and then next time they make a better decision. So like that, I think the point is well taken, that we cannot be protective, super protective of our children. Sometimes they have to find their way in the world. World is rough, but you have to let them go. And the eagle story is very much enlightening. I think that's so the gift, as you said, the gift what we can give is the gift of meditation, and we have to persuade them that it's a path. Instead of just playing with iPads and iPhones, they have other choices. I think as a parent, and you have to become their friend and guide them rather than being saying that you have to do this or that. And I think some valuable lessons. Thank you for that. Yeah.
Thank you, sir. Anybody else?
Yes, Deepa ma'am, this is Ashok. Yeah, I like to echo Upendra sir what said. Yeah, you need to be like more of a friend rather than as a parent, because when you are actually looking at as a parent, maybe you will have that supremacy or whatever you feel like, that egoistic thing, what comes in that I'm a parent and they have to listen to us. So, but once you convert yourself into a friendly relationship with the kid, that will give a lot of compassion and love, rather than having that anger and frustration about whatever the things are going to be. One of the other thing that is with the kids, yeah, we need to have a lot of patience. I think that's one of the main thing which we really need to inculcate and apply towards parenting, because parenting is unique, because it's not going to be like a bookish knowledge that what we have read or what Deepa madam said or Buddha said. No, that does not work. It's very unique to every parent and every kid, that relationship, how you are going to build it. Even if you are going to not going through in a proper direction, because I don't want to use in the right way or a wrong way, but in the proper direction, then you can always introspect yourself as an elderly person rather than a kid, because we are not supposed to maybe that is one thing which I'm learning very hardly, because I always did the same thing, rather than looking inwards, or yeah, I'm looking outwards and I'm expecting something that yeah, kid has to do. Kid is a kid, So, and when we are having like this many years of experience, and if you're not thinking in this direction, so then how you are expecting your kid to, because he just had like 15 years or 10 years or 20 years, and what he has seen, he has not seen entire world. So I think as a parent, we need to understand them, and we need to be in their shoes, and we need to understand what they are going through at every age, because every age they have their own tantrums. So even at the age that what we are in, we have our own things, because that's what we just need to look at. But what we have, we are not supposed to rub on them. That's what most of the parents will do, because we show our anger, frustration, and all, because we carry. Because if you don't know how to make your life balance between your work and family, then you bring the work to family and family to work, and you mess up so much. And that is all what we need to be careful as well. And that is what the mother eagle did, when he pushed out. Yeah, it made the kid to learn, because that is what we have to do. Because if we are going to hold the hand forever, then the kid will never, because once they go out from home, then what is that is going to happen? Are you going to go along with them all the time? Because that is what the parents are thinking. Yeah, we are traveling along with the kid. No, that is not the right way. So you just need to let them go, let them do their own things, and let them fall and raise, let them fall and raise, and let them learn. So thank you, Deepa ma'am. It's a beautiful session. Excellent.
Thank you, sir. As you said, every relationship is unique. So that is why I have mentioned that question paper will be different. Everybody's question paper, life question paper will be different. So we are trying to copy from the others' answer papers. So that is not right. Every relationship is unique. We will have to solve our own problems. Right? There also, we will try to compare ourselves with that kid or that particular problem. There also we are comparing. That time they handled the situation like that. Let me handle that way only. We need to understand this thing. Beautifully said, sir. Thank you.
Yeah. And yeah, even it takes quite a bit of long time, because even if you got married like a couple of years and all that stuff, then how best you are understanding each other, that is also one of the main factor, because that influences on the kids as well. As a wife and husband, then the harmony and the understanding and all of that stuff, because when you are dealing with the kids, when you don't have a good understanding, then what is that you are expecting from your kids? So maybe that is what I am learning now, because even I got married like 30 years, how much I understood about my family and myself and all that stuff. Yeah, rather than even getting into my family side, I am questioning how much I understood about myself, because what I'm doing, am I doing things in the way that I would like to do? And am I understanding the people who are next to me and around me, which is my wife and kids? Am I understanding them properly? Because am I being in their shoes and understanding them? No, because see, that is what we just need to look at in a daily way, and see that how best you are going to maneuver with them and go with them. So in this, yeah, parenting is like it's a ocean.
Yeah.
It's a ocean.
Yeah. Thank you. Thank you for sharing. Yes, just be, ma'am, you want to share something?
Yeah, you can unmute yourself, just Virji.
Yes, good morning. It's good morning here. No, I was just listening to you. This is a very favorite topic of mine, being a teacher and head of an institution. I have to deal with so many parents every single day and guide even teachers, with my own experience. I've been teaching for over 30 years now. So, I have enough experience by my own learning as a teacher and as a parent too. I'm a parent of two grown-up children, And I have learned with my own experience, as I've shared before also, like my son wanted to go into music, and I was very apprehensive about it because my husband's an architect, he has his own studio, and I'm a teacher, so I used to like, I thought I've gone wrong somewhere as a parent. Why my son just wants to stand and play the guitar for a living? He should be doing something more acceptable by the society. So I told him I want a degree. So by default he was academically sound too, so he got the seat and he did it. But the minute he finished his architecture, I forced him to be an architecture. So I hold myself responsible for wasting. So I won't say wasting. Of course, he developed into a charming young boy by the time he finished his architecture. But yes, I did not let him go full on into music before that. He gave me a degree. And then, yes, he said, okay, now you take the degree, this is what you wanted, so now just let me be on my own. And since then, he's been pursuing music, and he's a music producer now, he's a vocalist, and he's doing extremely well. He just said one line to me, he said, Mom, if I become an architect, I'm going to be a very bad architect. You just let me do what I want to do. So somewhere I don't like to use the word allowed anymore, because I think I have no one to allow or not allow a child. When I read Khalil Gibran, he says, "Your children are not your children." Okay, so then I understood, and since then I've been guiding parents accordingly. I've been different with my second one, and I've been guiding. In fact, I'm promoting more and more, different kind of. I always ask the children that if there is no pressure on you of earning money, if there is no pressure on you of parents, of teachers, what is that one thing you want to do? So then they come out with their passions. So I encourage them to follow their dreams more now. And I don't know how successful as a teacher or a principal I am, because I don't emphasize too much on marks or getting into those typical streams. When we were young, we were told there are only three careers: engineering, medical, or otherwise you're a loser, then you can just do anything you want to, it's all the same. So I'm trying to shift that now, because see, education earlier was based only to churn workers and laborers during the industrial revolution time, and we have been following that system ever since. So what I've realized now is that we have to change that model, and it is changing. It has changed all over the world. In India also we are trying to change. There is something called National Education Policy which has come in now. This is the first year, and where we are promoting other skilled occupations, not just academics but other skills too, which is very, very important, because when a child learns to lead his life according to his own passions, and he becomes a more compassionate individual. Otherwise, he's going to be an unhappy person, if we just force our children only for our own satisfaction, our own egos, our own whatever. A doctor will always force his child to be a doctor. He will not want that child to go into something like dancing, or maybe just be becoming a chef or something. So I think it's time we change this mindset and promote children to follow their dreams and passion, and just let them be, let them live their life. We've understood that by meditation, that we are all on our journeys. So that word allow, I think, is redundant for us now. So there's nothing like allow or not allowing a child. A child is on his own. Thank you for allowing me to share. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you, Jasmine, ma'am, for beautiful sharing. And you are doing a great work as a teacher or principal there. And you're asking them to follow their passion. That is the greatest gift we can give those children, right? Yeah, thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah. Anybody else would like to share?
Thank you, Deepa ma'am. Thank you for your wonderful voice and the song. And thank you all masters, Vendra sir, Jaspreet ma'am, Ashok sir. It adds to most of your experiences, what you carry and share here to younger parents like me to encourage my child to be what they are. Yet it is definitely a tailored journey, but your experience plays an insight to what you can be more than just being a mother or just being a parent. Definitely these values at least get to widen our mind and tell ourselves that we may not always fall in the purview of society. That courage is needed by only experienced parents sharing like this. The courage builds in up by the younger parents. And yeah, in today's era, I feel not much of children. They are more what I see as my own students. They are more widened with what they are. They know what they are basically. In our era, I feel we were like more bothered about what we should be like, growing in our profession. But today's era, I see children, they know by themselves what they are, and then they want to stand for themselves. And that's where the tug of war between the parent and the child is like, why don't you stand what a society needs, and the child wants to do what he or she wants to do. So yeah, thank you for a lot of these inputs. They make a lot of difference. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you,
Thank
Mark.
you, Lakshmi ma'am. I feel these young parents are very lucky to follow this path very early in their life. Thank you.
Thank you, Deepa ma'am. Beautiful class, beautiful parenting lessons. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank
Naina.
you. Thank you for the lovely song also.
Thank you.
Thank you, Deepa ma'am. Thank you, everyone. And it seems that